She would use washcloths to wipe. She would set them on the corner of the sink, and then she would throw them away. Our roommates started to notice that their late mother's washcloths were disappearing, and they confronted her about it, and she wanted me to lie to them for her, but I didn't. She ended up buying more washcloths for herself, and instead of throwing them away, she had me wash them in the sink and then put them in the washer.
You are also trying to monetize your mukbangs.
And in between the bucket baths, she just didn't shower.
Amberlynn did not shower the whole time we were at the mall.
Hello, everybody. In today's video for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing, you heard it here last, Amber is spiraling over ex-Beck and what Beck has revealed. If you don't know, by the way, I've got some comments. Well, I think I saw 2 comments of people telling me to stop saying this. I'm sorry. Systematic mistreatment in a relationship needs to be called out, and I will always call it out. So if you don't know what has happened, Amberlynn is spiraling and raging. She's having a full meltdown about Beck on her Instagram story because Beck finally let us know that not only did Beck help Amber in the lavatory, but as you heard in the intro, Amberlynn stole her roommate's late mother's washcloths and used them in the lavatory, then bought some new ones and forced Beck to wash the dirty rags in the lavatory. Amazing time to be alive, girl. Basically, our girl is raging about salty crab. She's raging about everybody. She's even mentioning Destiny. It's an amazing time to be alive, girls. So look, get your washcloths, get your rags right here. Here's my affiliate link to get one. Have you ever wanted to get a washcloth for yourself for proper reasons? Well, now you can in my game show host voice. Yes, this is my affiliate link to get a washcloth. Let me know when it ships for you so I can be excited for you. All right, if you could not tell already by this ridiculous intro, everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously because I am sharing my own opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. I'm sharing my opinions, all right? Entertainment purposes only. Please don't go to these people's channels and leaving spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. I personally feel that Amberlynn manipulated her audience by saying she was taking a mental health break. How so? Yes, your semantics, you need to go word by word, Amber, where you say, oh, well, I'm not posting videos on YouTube, so that means I'm taking a mental health break. Basically, bashing Beck on Instagram is not a mental health break. So here we go. This should be really exciting. Of course, Amberlynn is not only writing her own questions, but picking these questions on purpose. My personal opinion, if you care to hear it, I think what Amber is doing here is trying to bash Beck any way that she can in different arenas, in different places where people can't respond right away. Why do you think Beck is bringing up your hygiene issues when it has nothing to do with sharing their side? Money. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say is, all of you, the people that are against Beck, would you wipe Amber? Let me know in the dislikes down below. Would you wipe her? Would you wash her dirty rags in exchange for some chapstick and a t-shirt collection? Let me know, because that's what Beck got. Second thing I wanted to say, I see this criticism of Beck on the internet for a while now, which is Beck is talking about irrelevant things that have nothing to do with Amber's mistreatment. Look, I understand that when your partner who you love is in a bad situation, you help them 150%. But other than helping after surgery, what was the reason that Beck had to help Amberlynn for years? Beck said it was for a long time and more than just the 9 months that Amber claims. Also, for those of you that don't think somebody paying your rent and in exchange you have to help them in the lavatory all the time while still trying to have zero kind of intimacy, zero kind of romantic relationship, like that is mistreatment. When Beck shared that they were like forced to give over their inheritance money from their deceased mom, that was also them just being dramatic, right? Stop it. All of you that feel that, Beck is this, wrong person to dare to say anything about Queen Amber, would you wipe her? Not Beck, Amber, let me know. Y'all wouldn't. Don't even try that. Come on. This is the way that you mistreated Beck. And as far as Amberlynn saying that Beck is doing this for the money, Amber, you degraded and bashed Beck for the money in multiple videos while they were on your channel as your partner and while they were on your channel as a unwilling, non-willing participant when you continue to bring them up in various numerous videos. All Beck says is take accountability, but you have multiple times. Thank you, someone who is actually listening. Amber, you have said that Beck is exaggerating and lying. You have told private information about them. That isn't even private. That's the best part. Most people know about part of it. And you have extensively said, I did these things, but I did these things, but I'm sorry for what I did, but. Do you not understand that that is not accountability? A real apology, real accountability is coming on the internet and saying, I'm sorry, I did this, there's no excuse. Amber knows that the word accountability is a big buzzword from TikTok and wherever else she's on, and she knows that she needs to take it, but she hasn't taken anything. Have you considered just going clean slate, admit to everything true or not, apologize, start over, admit to things that aren't true? What would be the point in that? Either you wrote this question yourself or you're picking it to what? To prove a point that nobody cares? At the end of the day, Amberlynn cannot apologize to her audience for tormenting. You torment your own audience. You blame them for you having mental health issues. You blame them for everything in your life. I think your audience is sick and tired of being tormented by you, and so is Beck. Beck came out and said what they said because for the billionth time, I will say this in every video, Amberlynn tormented Beck, not just in the relationship, but afterwards. Every single year after their breakup, Amberlynn she did lots of things. She blamed Beck for her cancer. She said superficial things about Beck. She said that Beck is a liar. She did Instagram stories trashing Beck, saying it was the worst date she's ever had. That is what you did. And that is why they shared the whole situation about the wash rags and how you stole them. Here's the thing. Amber says that Beck is doing this for money. I disagree in the general sense. Yes, they're now getting paid. They should. You stole their money. Look, if they can recoup the money that you stole from their mom and the money that you never paid them for the live streams, then I think that they should recoup it that way. It's sad that your audience has to pay them instead of you. Okay. If Beck was doing this simply for the money, wouldn't they have done this every single year after your breakup? Do you know how much money Beck could have made if they exposed you right after the breakup and throughout all these years? A few $100,000, but they chose not to. You pushed them to their breaking point by you bashing them multiple times throughout the years. Amber started this and Beck is finishing it. And that is what Amber cannot stand. Let's move on to the Salty Crab drama. Salty Crab reaction channel dared to put Amber's members only live stream in her video. What happened after that is Amber threatened her, emailed her, and said that I will copyright strike you. That is not the way to handle the situation. So Amber knows it. Amber cannot copyright strike somebody who is within the fair use. There's a copyright law in the United States. There is a fair use doctrine. You can use somebody's content, not the whole thing. And I believe she did not use your entire live stream. That was members only. You can use it, okay? You can use bits and parts of it as long as you offer commentary and criticism. Amber, you constantly threaten people to copyright strike them, which is why I will not use her content. But eventually, you will find the wrong person who's going to take you to court for numerous different reasons. So Salty Crab ended up deleting her video and reposting it. So, because Amber didn't want her content in Salty Crab's video, what Salty Crab did is give Amber a nickname. Why would you try and copyright Salty Crab? You are such a Amber. I'm the bad one when she is ableist and making fun of my cancer. Raglan something. I mean, seriously, how delusional are you? Okay, so here's what I want to say about this. Number one, Amberlynn threatened this person to go after their livelihood. She threatened her. She is professionally dangerous to her. Salty Crab's video was within the fair use. You didn't want your likeness or anything about you in the video. So she gave you a nickname. The nickname, the way that I looked at it, was not about you being ill. It was about you being inappropriate in your house and destroying other people's possessions because you wouldn't go to the proper doctor. Now, let's just say, for the sake of this argument, that even if this nickname that Salty Crab gave her is whatever, not something that you think is appropriate. Let's just look at the other side. I always look at both sides. Notice that in this post, Amber will not address why she threatened and why she privately harassed and why she threatened to copyright strike Salty Crab. She's only talking about her response. Amber, when you're horrible to people, expect there to be a negative response. She's talking about Salty Crab's response, even if you don't agree with it. Notice again how Amber is not at all whatsoever addressing why she again went against the terms of service of YouTube by trying to copyright strike fair use content. You got a negative response after you went after a person and you don't deal with it here. Need to stop bringing up things you heard from other people and using it to spread rumors. The name isn't a rumor, but that's funny coming from a community of people who believe every single rumor about me. You have lied extensively about a lot of different things, and everything that is said about you is 95% true. That's my opinion. When did Salty Crab make fun of your cancer? Got this DM today. Feel free to skip this over if you'd rather not know what Salty Crab has done. And then this DM goes to say that, like, they reported Salty Crab. I just want to say one thing, okay? All of Amberlynn's content recently where she is eating is against the terms of service. I am not telling you to report her. I want to make that very clear. Amberlynn, you know that all your content is against the terms of service. You have a diagnosed you-know-what, and you are not allowed to make that type of content. You are glorifying it, and you have been taken down before for this. Furthermore, you threatening behind the scenes and promising to copyright strike fair use content is against the terms of service. A part of me wishes that Salty would have, of course, let her strike her, because then, Amber, you are 100% in violation. Terms of service say that you cannot strike content that is fair use. Amber, you constantly break the terms of service. Girl, you absolutely know that Salty Crab wasn't making fun of your cancer. Referring to what exactly? Are you forgetting that part? Probably most people that don't like me are delusional. Honestly, Amber, this is all happening to you because you caused it. You caused the situation with Beck. You caused the situation with the reaction channels. I thought you wanted to take some time off from your mental health, for your mental health. Right. This next one is my favorite. So Amber has 77,000 followers on Instagram. It is common sense that she will have people asking her questions when she does these Q&As. What Amberlynn does isn't just manipulation of language. She does full-on manipulation, and she thinks that people don't see what she's doing. What it is she neglects to mention the most important parts of what is being asked in hopes that her audience won't find out about it from reaction channels or from what's actually going on. Here's another example. LOL, most of these questions are you typing it to yourself. Typical Amber behavior. Notice that the person said most of these questions. They did not say all of these questions. So what do I mean by that? All right, it is common sense that Amberlynn will have a lot of people writing to her because, as I just mentioned, 77,000 followers. A lot of people there. But what people are saying and have been saying, and you are manipulating the situation because you're leaving out the main point. You're not discussing the main point. I believe it is my opinion and the opinion of the community that you are definitely answering a bunch of questions that you write to yourself. They're written in the way that you speak, and it's obvious that it's you talking. Also, some of these questions, while I know that opinions on the internet really differ, it is beyond obvious that it's you asking. What is my point? Why am I saying she's manipulating the situation? Why don't you answer the question that's really being asked here? You do write some of the questions, but not the majority or all of them. You write a lot of the questions that are being asked to you from your sock accounts. You have a bunch of fake accounts. I know you do. And the rest of us know that you do, in our opinions. We can feel it. Amber, one of the things that you will never understand, and this is going to go way over, is that a lot of people can hear you when you talk. And in general, people can understand what's going on even when you don't transparently share it. There's all kinds of different people in the world, Amberlynn Reid. You just may not understand what I'm talking about. My point is, you obviously have fake accounts and you obviously do write yourself questions. We know that. The majority of us understand that. You don't write all of your own questions at all, and not most of them, but you write a bunch of your own questions. Like a bunch, like a certain amount. You showing us, because this is a screenshot of her showing us all of the questions that are being asked, supposedly, doesn't prove anything. You're leaving out the main idea that you're writing some of them. Why is it that you are leaving out that information, manipulating your audience by not saying, well, my audience is saying that, I write some of the questions, most of the questions, whatever the person said. They never said you write all of them. Amber, your manipulation doesn't work on me. Not a question, but I quoted you for my senior quote a few years ago. I love you so much. Living for that. But I need to know the quote. LOL. Amber, do you not think that that's incredibly rude? It's, I guess, okay if you don't remember your own quote, but asking the person what the quote is when, you know, they obviously feel that it meant a lot to them, that they used it for themselves, that's rude to say you don't know what it is. I want to tell you something. This is something that celebrities understand. This is something that public figures understand, and she should understand this. She doesn't because she can't relate to, my opinion, decency. But this is something that is a part of being emotionally intelligent, and this is something that, like I said, people in the public eye understand. So, for the people that watch celebrities and actors and actresses and singers and public figures and influencers, some of the stuff that people do, okay, in the public eye gets embedded into the people that watch them. Like, it gets embedded in their memories. And to them, it's a big deal, while to celebrities and public figures, it's not as much of a big deal. It's just something that was said in their lives. Do you understand what I'm saying? This happens all the time. For example, when somebody comes up to an actor on the street, they'll say something like, "Oh my God, you were great in so and so movie, the actor of, whoever." They'll say, "Your performance as, Bob in the movie Bob Goes and Sees a Chicken," whatever. I don't know. The point is, that meant a lot to me. It changed my whole life. Now, to the actor that played Bob, seeing a chicken, it meant nothing. It was a time in their life, they got paid for it. But to a person that watched this movie, to a fan, to a follower, it meant a lot. The emotionally intelligent thing and the kind thing to do in that situation is to say, "Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that movie. Thank you so much for the support," because that person is supporting you. And one of the small things that you did in your life was a big thing for them. This is all about having emotional intelligence. Amber, can't you understand that if this comment is real and you didn't write it yourself, your quote that you used meant a lot to them? Just thank them for their support. Don't burst their bubble. This one is great. Do you ever regret what you do in the past? Yes, I've done things I regret. I don't agree with you. I think you're lying. I think that Amberlynn regrets that you all know what she's done in the past. That's a lot different than regretting what she did in the past. The only reason that she didn't do to Tommy what she did to Beck, that she didn't do to Wifey what she did to Beck, has nothing to do with regret. It has to do simply and only with her knowing that they wouldn't take it. Why do you excuse symptoms of NPD? I thought two things can be true at once. Maybe I am a narcissist, who knows? Two professionals have told me I'm not, but they could be wrong. Do you know why they're wrong? In my opinion, because you lie to professionals. After a certain time, when you continuously lie to therapists, they can only make the decision based on what they know. You lie to them. Do you know how I know that? You told us that your therapist told you to go at 4 a.m. and talk to somebody that knew Foodie Beauty. We know that your therapist didn't tell you at 4 a.m. Please stop lying. The quote that we were talking about before that Amber didn't even know and was rude and said she had no idea. I hope that my blank will lower and my love will higher. I thought it was cute, lol. Haha, oh my god, that quote is kind of cute, huh? Hans Christian Amberlynn, everybody. You don't get enough credit for your resiliency. You haven't stopped trying, and that's really admirable. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. She's not resilient. What's going on is if she stops making YouTube videos and she stops live streaming, but mainly if she stops doing YouTube videos, she will never pay the bills. And if you continue to poke the wrong people on YouTube, they're going to sue you and you will not be able to afford your life and you will have to live with your mom. So the reality is that she cannot afford her life without YouTube at all. And it's not resiliency, it's desperation. You're the only YouTuber that I watch. Thank you so much for the support. Wonderful. I wanted to ask that person a question. Would you wipe her? Would you play choosy with her? Just let us know. I'm living for you standing up for yourself. I've been waiting for that. Love that for you. Thank you. Amberlynn Reid has 245,000 people. She could always stand up for herself. The reality is this. Whenever someone, it's an old thing. Whenever somebody mistreats you, and that's a nice word for what I'm really trying to say. When somebody mistreats you, they always play the victim and pretend that you mistreated them. Beck did not mistreat you. You mistreated them. I thought you were taking a break. Yeah, from posting to YouTube. So obviously it is beyond clear what she did. She manipulated language and said that she's going to be taking a mental health break, right? Of course, because she manipulates all the language that she uses, she always uses language to mean something else. It's semantics. It's being very specific with her language. So how are you taking a mental health break by going on Instagram and fighting with people? Please tell me how you're doing that. Can you prove your BPD diagnosis? You aren't asking for that in good faith. Did you threaten to copyright strike Salty Crab in good faith? Did you demand that Beck wash your dirty rags in the bathroom after you used your roommate's late mom's washcloths in the lavatory? Was that done in good faith? Amber, I'm going to tell you something. Can I call you Amber? You don't need to ever tell people that they're not doing things in good faith when you haven't got any. I'm tired of goalposts constantly being moved. ChatGPT has entered the room along with Hans Christian Amberlynn. When I showed my proof of cancer while bawling my eyes out, people said I faked it. Never will I ever put myself in that position again. Look, I understand that you're getting all upset that you have to mention cancer every 5 seconds. Here's the thing. I do believe her that she was ill with cancer. That was terrible. And I'm very thankful that she is in remission because I do not wish that on anyone. I've always said that. And even though I do not care for any of this person's behavior, I wish them the best because I try to wish everybody the best. And sometimes people get upset at me for that. Please don't get upset. It's a good thing to wish everyone the best and get a Kermit. My point here is this. I'm not going to show this to you because we would have a 7-year video. She just talks about this time in her life over and over and over again in this Q&A. And it's like, okay, so you went on your live stream recently, publicly, and said that, you were not diagnosed. You were told that you fit the criteria. And very recently, supposedly, you were diagnosed. Fitting the criteria and diagnosis are two different things. I do not personally, this is just my opinion, I do not believe that she was diagnosed with BPD. I think she uses it as an excuse. Do you regret starting YouTube? Nah. Why would you regret it? You're making a bunch of money for doing nothing. And by the way, not everyone is like that. She is. She answers this twice. I'm not going to show the second one because it's all the same nonsense. Why do you buy cheap perfume? Is it to figure out what kind of scents you prefer? I think it's a little deeper than that. I wouldn't say 110 is cheap, but I guess everyone's idea of cheap is different. I grew up with nothing at all. Fabulous. Tell us that again, because as if that is supposed to somehow make it okay that you mistreat people. Tell it to us again. Tell it to us again. No, plenty of people that had it way worse than her. Lovely, phenomenal people. Okay. She also says that she spent $200 and something in another Q&A on perfume or whatever whatever it is. Why did I show this to you? This is in general irrelevant. Beck left your home with $100 to their name. while you had 60,000 in your bank account. Then you told us you had triple that one time. She said it in her, I believe, members only live stream. Why is it okay to buy $100 bottles of perfume, but you left them with $100? That's why I showed this to you. Are you 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead? You're not even in the running. You are 100% behind. You could not see Beck exposing your laboratory habits at all whatsoever. Like, you kept poking Beck and you kept saying terrible, awful things about Beck for years, and you didn't see this coming. Okay. And you're what steps ahead? Right. Watching you right now, gorgeous. Don't listen to people that don't care for you. Come to Vegas if you want to chill. I'd love a Vegas Lynn moment. I just want to tell everybody she's never going to come to Vegas. Here's why. She refuses to fly. Not sure why, since Foodie Beauty flies. She only gets mommy to drive her 19 hours. Here's the bottom line. She doesn't care about her followers. I don't know if y'all don't know that. She would never come and meet you there because she's only forcing mommy to drive her to Tommy's. Oh, that's over. How about we address that narcissistic meltdown? Have you ever heard of a BPD meltdown? It was that, caught on camera in front of thousands. Amber, you told us that you were not diagnosed. Please stop. Do you miss Tommy? I do. Amber, I would love to get your take on this, okay? It's going to be really manipulative, but I still want to hear what Amby, can I call you Amber, has to say. Somebody please ask Amberlynn this in a very respectful manner. Here's the question that I would love to ask Amber. Dear Amber, have you seen your ex-girlfriend's Tommy's post that her former partner is the real love of her life and will always be the love of her life? How do you feel that the entire time that Tommy was dating you, somebody else was the love of their life? Let us know. Next question. I've been watching you since the Destiny era. They could never make me not like you. That's a long time ago. Thank you. Do you know why I put this here? Because she's still obsessed with Destiny. You mark my words, Destiny is the one that got away. You know, honestly, when somebody's not the one that got away, you don't keep bringing them up. Have you noticed that Amberlynn has been bringing up Destiny in this whole situation? When technically, Destiny, for now, has nothing to do with it. I know she's supposed to do, like, a video with Beck, but the point is, she hasn't yet. Amber keeps bringing her up because she's the one that got away. I don't like how they keep pushing you, and then when you finally snap, they call you the bad guy. Exactly. For the billionth time, Amberlynn Reid is the first person to push Beck for 4+ years. She has been tormenting Beck publicly, taunting them publicly, and they're just responding. Thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the comments and dislikes down below. What do you think about this video? Please let me know in the comments. That's it. The video's over. Thank you so much for watching it. Here's another video popping up on a similar topic. Go and watch that one. I wish everybody all the best, especially the washcloths, because they have suffered enough. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.